Take an old plastic bucket or a container and make a drainage hole. You can see I am using a very old container which is broken. But this is good enough for composting. So I'm not going to throw it in the garbage just yet. The drainage hole must be made for the excess water to be drained out. For my browns, I'm using dried leaves and some sawdust. And these are the food scraps from the kitchen. You can see that the size is quite big. When such big sized food chunks go into the compost bin, the decomposition process takes much longer. So I'm just going to cut it up to increase the surface area. And I also must tear up the brown leaves and crush them to increase their surface area. First, I put a layer of brown organic matter at the bottom of the composting bin. This is about 1 inch in thickness. Then I add the greens, a thin layer of greens. And again, I add the browns. And then the greens. And thus I keep alternating till all my greens are in the composting bin. And finally, I put a layer of browns on top to protect my grains from insects and flies. I do this layering daily once in a day. In case you forget to add your food scrap someday, you can always add it the next day. The greens will slowly start to release the water and thus activating the composting microbes. And when the composting microbes start doing their job, they generate a lot of heat. And after 2-3 days, when you put your finger inside the bin, you can feel the heat. After every 2 to 3 days, you need to turn your bin, which means you need to mix everything together so that the food scraps are redistributed in the bin. The decomposition generally happens at the center of the bin. Turning is done so that all the food scraps get a fair chance to get broken down by microbes. Also, it is a good time to check the moisture level. If the moisture level is too high, your compost bin will become smelly. And it is time to add some more brown organic matter. If a compost bin is too dry, then there will be no heat generated. In other words, decomposition will not be taking place. So in that case, you can add some more green organic matter. You can also add a little amount of Amrit Jal. How Amrit Jal helps is, it increases the moisture level. Also, it is a great source of nitrogen. Thus, it will bring the carbon to nitrogen ratio in the compost bin to an optimum level. So your bucket would get filled up in about a week or so. When my bucket is filled, I leave it for another week and start a new bucket. And after 1 week, all the food scraps would have disappeared from your compost bin. That is when you transfer it to a stage 2 bucket. Your compost stays in the stage 2 bucket for about 3 to 4 weeks. And you need to turn it once in 5 to 7 days. And then after 3 to 4 weeks, this goes to your final stage bucket. In this stage, your compost becomes mature. Compost stage in the final stage bucket for about 2 to 3 months. And you can turn it about once in 15 to 20 days. When you do stage-wise composting, the first compost that you get is after about 3 to 4 months. But then, as all the stages happen in parallel, you start getting a steady supply of compost for your garden. You can put all kinds of organic matter into your vermicompost bin, but you must not allow them to decompose in the bin. When decomposition happens, there is a lot of heat generated in the compost bin, and that heat kills the earthworms. So generally, as a rule of thumb, I put semi-decomposed material into the compost bin. We get a lot of cow dung out here, so I just collect the cow dung and add some brown organic matter to it and leave it to decompose outside for about a month. So after a month, it looks something like this. This is what goes into the vermicompost bin along with some soil. The soil helps increase friction and thus helping earthworm to digest their food better. To make my vermicompost bin, I take a big bucket with a drainage hole. Then at the bottom, I layer with some sugarcane bagasse. If you do not have sugarcane bagasse, you can add some coco peat here. And after that, all I need to do is to put my semi-decomposed organic matter into the bucket. And then I add in the earthworms to do their job. You need to maintain the right temperature in the compost bin. Anything beyond 30 degrees is not a good temperature for the earthworms to thrive. So the composting bin must be kept in shade. The moisture level also must be checked, and if it is dry, then water must be added. Depending on how many earthworms you have added in your compost bin, after about 20 to 30 days, you'll start seeing vermicompost formation on top of your bin. To harvest, you can simply collect the vermicompost from the top of the bin once every few days. Alternatively, you can take out all the vermicompost and make a heap like this and leave it in the sun. This will force the earthworms to go towards the center of the heap. And then you can separate the vermicompost like this, and in the end, all you will have left is your earthworms, and they can go to the compost bin again. But remember not to keep it in the sun for too long. About half an hour to 1 hour is enough time to separate out the vermicompost from the earthworms. If you keep it too long in the sun, the compost heap will get heated up and the earthworms would die. Hence I find it harvesting vermicompost from top of the bin an easier and safer option. And when half of the bin is empty, all I need to do is to add in some more organic matter. Weather plays a very big role in composting process. Decomposition happens much faster in hot and humid conditions. But you cannot control weather. But what you can control is the size of your food scraps, the balance of your greens and browns, regular turning, and stage-wise composting. Take care and happy composting.